What is up, everybody? Today is a very exciting day. We're going to go on the river here in Eagle County, Colorado. We're going to go down the Eagle River, actually. We're going to review and test out the Rocky Mountain Rafts Taylor IK126 inflatable kayak. Let's check it out. Now, when you talk about inflatable kayaks or duckies, the first thing you think of is fun. You think of river, having a good time with your friends and enjoying a nice, beautiful, sunny day in Colorado. Well, this right here, we're going to take this thing down the river here in a second, but I want to show you some of the features and benefits and quirks of the Taylor IK126 by Rocky Mountain Rafts. First off, it's got 8 rings in the front, and then it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 in the back. You also got the rear ring on the stern and a front ring on the bow. The kayak is designed beautiful. It's really sharp, edgy looking. I really wanted something like that for control, something really lightweight. And speaking of weight, this boat comes in right under 30 pounds at 29.5 pounds. I think the package weight on this thing was right around 37 pounds. With all the gear and everything in the packaging, 37 pounds. So that's what the shipping weight was. You can see it's got 4 chambers. You've got 11-inch chambers here. And you can see they narrow and taper down to the stern, as well as the bow. They've got protective coatings here in the front. You've got a handle in the front as well as a handle in the rear. I really like these rings up front, but you can see plenty of room. And speaking of room, you've got a drop stitch floorboard. Now, what's really awesome about the drop stitch floorboard, the rigidity, I think a lot of stability is going to come into play with that as well. So that's why I wanted something that was kind of halfway between an inflatable kayak and an SUP, because if you know my background in whitewater, I've spent a lot of time instructing and teaching and floating these vessels on the whitewater, inflatable kayaks, stand-up paddleboards, you know, hardshell kayaks. I've taught whitewater kayaking, whitewater paddleboarding, roll classes at the rec center, and taken many trips on the river as a raft guide, as a safety boater, as a kayak guide, as a kayak instructor, as a SUP instructor. So many, many trips on the river and many, many hours on the river. So this was kind of handpicked for the style that I'm looking at paddling today. We'll explain more about that here in a minute. But if you're looking at an inflatable kayak, something that's built like a raft, I really think the Taylor might be something you want to take a glance at. Now, it is PVC. You're looking at 3 PSI to fill up the sides, the thwart in the middle, and 3 to 5 PSI for the drop stitch on the bottom. So not as much as a stand-up paddleboard, even though it's a drop stitch bottom, but still really cool. Now, the seams on these are heat sealed as well as glued. Now, what that means is it's going to be really easy to repair. It does come with a kit that's got many, patches in it if you do get in a situation where you accidentally, poke it or something or cut it. When you're opening up the box, you want to be very careful with this as well. With a razor blade, you don't want to take a straight razor blade and jab it straight down the box when you open it. Now, it's super easy to pump up. I do suggest you get an electric pump. I'll show you a link below to the pump that I used to pump this up, which was perfect. I'm not going to waste your time showing you how to pump up this raft, because if you're looking at an inflatable kayak, I'm sure you already know how to do that. All right, I flipped it over now. Now, I've taken this thing out a few times. I've scraped it on rocks and sticks and logs already, and you can see just no tears or scratches or anything, just a couple scuffs maybe, but nothing even close to penetrating this. Now, PVC is a very tough, reliable material when it comes to this, and just the technology has changed. There's a lot of things have changed with technology in PVC. So if you're used to a Hypalon raft, they're super UV resistant, those kinds of things. These new ones, these PVC boats now are coming pretty much coated and just super awesome. Now, speaking of awesome, it comes with a 6-year warranty. If you're using this, just recreational as yourself. It comes with a 3-year warranty if you're using it commercially on the river as a river guide or something. So there it is, check it out. Rocky Mountain Rafts Taylor IK126. They make it in a double. They've got another version of Animus. It's a little bit bulkier, really bomber, more of commercial use is what I would think that's for. But I think as far as it's playing out on the river and having fun, it's basically made like a miniature raft. So super high quality, super bomber proof, and we're going to see how fun it is and how well that thing handles here on the Eagle Rivers. Let's go. All right, and now we're gonna put in. Now you're going, where are you putting in? Well, right across the street. This is where I get to put in. Now you're thinking, well, how are you getting home? Well, hang on to the very end, because I'm gonna show you something really cool, little system I got going on that you could take advantage of as well, and I could help with that. So let's go on and get on the river. All right, we'll surf this thing out. Perfect. All right, this thing ferries really nicely, so I can get over to the deeper water and just peel out more into the channel. Very cool. Lots of geese. Oh, there's baby geese. Let's see if I could show you some of the baby geese. There's baby geese over there. Very cool. Now, our first obstacle. Handles the plunging well. Nice. Get this camera set up a little bit better for you all. There we go. All right, so seeking out this particular kayak, just a little bit of research really. Is, you know, I've got a lot of experience on whitewater, like I was saying, so kind of knew the style I was looking for. Something light, maneuverable, you know, maybe sacrificing a little bit of float, a little bit of stability for maneuverability. But I really don't think so, because the length of this is 10.5 feet. So it'd be 10.5 feet. Your sides are 11 inches. You know, you've got the thwart. You really just have a lot of cool things going on. Pretty cool, huh? All right, so the paddling of this boat isn't too bad. The tracking of it isn't too bad either. Now, some of advice that I will give you on setting up this boat, you do have to set this boat up depending on, you know, how tall you are. I will suggest that you go maybe more forward than backwards. You know, try to stay in the center, but, you know, definitely if you're going to go one way or the other, you know, go a little forward, because it's going to bring that, you know, the bow down so you could track better in the water, or just give you better traction. Like snowboarding or anything, just that little weight forward is going to help you edge or track better with this boat. So I just wanted to mention that. All right, now we'll go over this way. But handling superbly right now. I mean, honestly, feel like I could ferry across and catch whatever section I need to catch to make it safely down the river. Like right there, I was able to just basically, you know, ferry around. Now I'm able to, you know, dodge that side bush right there. Yeah, not too shabby, man. Not too shabby. It trucks really well. Paddle's really light and easy, really lofty float for such a shallow, I guess, kayak, inflatable kayak. All right, very cool. Cool. And with a small kayak like this, you could just go to smaller sections than you would if a bigger boat, because you're really not deep in the water. Now, as far as size goes, I want y'all to understand, about 170 pounds with gear, probably about 180 with gear, 185 with gear maybe. So gear-wise, you know, you need to know my weight that I'm paddling. Now, how much weight can this kayak handle? I think it depends on what you plan on paddling. I mean, if you're just paddling a lake, I think you could, you know, have 300-pound fella in there, or a couple 150, 160-pound people in here, float around a lake fine. What do I think about whitewater, swift water, those kinds of things? I really think you need to at least be around 250 or less gear and everything, to be honest with you. They do make a bigger version of this. They also make an Animus version single kayak as well, that I think would be better for, you know, big football players and stuff. But for this one particular one right here, just fits me really well. I'm a long, slender build. It's a long, slender kayak, and I like long, slender rivers, so it just works. So let's sit here and see if we can maybe catch a fish. Let's see how I can just kind of lay my rod, my net here in the middle. We're just on class 1, you know, stuff. Maybe pushing class 2 for a little bit down here, but really nothing major. So I don't need, you know, my thigh straps. I don't need, you know, a footrest or anything necessarily. All those are nice to have. I don't feel that I need it. And another good thing is just how easily you could get out of this boat if you want to as well. So I could, like, you know, put on this little puff of grass there, nice easy landing for me. Super shallow water, so even when I get out, I'm not in deep water. That's another thing. Grab handle here is really nice. And I could just bring it into shore or put it in the shade if I want to. So super cool. And then I'm able to, you know, do this, which is even cooler, better. And we could get some, maybe a good angle coming out right here. I'm gonna grab my net in case we do get lucky. You never know, right? I've caught some monsters on this river. That's no joke. I've caught some big boys on this river. I got witnesses for that, so I don't need to talk about that. We're in the moment. But that kayak, look at it over there. That's a good looking boat. This is it's sharp looking. I mean, literally it's sharp looking. All right. Throw in a couple lines here, see if we can get lucky. But yeah, just a great boat to just spend the day on the river, you know, doing one of my favorite pastimes. It's not always about catching the fish either. I want to reiterate that, because, man, a lot of times just coming out here and enjoy this, the nature part of it, you know? And to me, that's just super special. Beautiful day. We'll get going down through here for a little bit and see if we can find another spot to fish and see how this thing handles getting an eddy and then doing some ferrying across maybe some bigger water. So let's see if we can find some bigger spots. Let's go. Beautiful day though. Beautiful day. So nice to just, honestly, just to get out here and enjoy the weather and the water. I mean, right now we haven't had a big snowpack this year, so, you know, enjoying this water while you can is a real thing. All right, maybe we'll get a little bit more current down here, try to catch an eddy and see if we can catch a fish. Let's go. Very cool. Very, very cool. Man, what a gorgeous day. All right, let's go ahead and catch a little bit of this water here and see what it can do for us. Let's go. Woo! How cool is that? Let's head on over here. Very cool. How freaking cool is that? Look at that. It's tracking effortlessly. Look at that. It's just, it's ferrying with very little effort. Wow, okay. Sold. I mean, I already bought it. And I did pay for this with my own money. I want to reiterate that. I paid for this, so it wasn't given to me by Bobby or any of the guys at Rocky Mountain Rafts. We chatted. He helped me get the color in the boat I wanted. And got it out like in 3 days. From West Virginia to Colorado, 3 days, UPS. His last words when we got off the phone that morning was, I'll put it on the next brown truck comes through. Sure as heck. All right, so we want to stay to the left of these bushes. So we want to track a little to the left, just a couple strokes. All right, good. Now we're back in kind of the water, you know, the good section of water where we get some current going and going down the river. You can see right there, we're just kind of going right down the middle. and just keep the boat nice and straight. This boat tracks really well for such a maneuverable inflatable kayak, because a lot of times you don't get both. You get one or the other, but you don't always get both. You can see here I'm able to, you know, if I wanted to even get on this eddy line and push myself further up into this eddy, like, you know, let's see. Let's see how it does it. I wasn't expecting to do this. I wasn't expecting this kayak to perform like this. So this is really neat, because the last couple times I was afloat with some friends. I didn't really, you know, get a chance to test it fishing and carrying gear as much. It's more just, you know, a float. But look at that. I mean, that's actually really, really impressive. I mean, it just went up right up that eddy line and just minimal strokes. All right, so we got a really cool section going down through here. A little bit of ripples, and it's just really pretty through here. I really like this section. And then I think it pushes us down to another area that I might get out and fish. But let's go ahead and go down these S-turns here. Very cool. Rocking and rolling. The paddle is really nice. It's not the lightest paddle in the world, you know, it's more of a recreational paddle, but it's got a wide blade on it, and it's, you know, it's made really well. I mean, it's gonna be a paddle that's gonna last you for years. So, you know, there's that. All right, let's chuck on down through here. We've got like where the other waterway is coming into this waterway, so we'll have to lean a little bit to the right so we don't get too topsy-turny here. Always wear your PFD, boys and girls. All right, so we'll lean to the right just a little and float right over. Perfect. Perfect boat, man. Like, that was like effortless. So if you want something you're just not gonna have to put a lot of effort in, I mean, and just have a good day and be able to track. It's got decent speed to it. I'm not gonna say it's the fastest kayak. It's really maneuverable and it tracks really well. You're able to like surf and ferry really well in this kayak. So I'm able to like either get in a situation I want to or get out of one. So right here, we want to avoid this rock, you know, so we want to get over here to the left, and I'm able just a couple nice strokes and I'm out of the way. It's just super cool. Very, very cool. We'll go over here and eddy out, and I'm gonna see if I could catch a fish. So gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, look at all the flowers blooming. Oh yeah. Look at all those wildflowers. Seems like a good place to get at, right, boys and girls? Perfect. And like I said, it's so floaty. I'm able to basically beach the kayak, put my paddle out, step foot on dry ground. I mean, that's probably not a big deal to everybody, but it could be. And then just awesome grab handles. So cool. Let's see what we could do here, but I want to show you these beautiful flowers right now. I mean, look at that. And butterflies. How just beautiful. There's some honeybees. That's just beautiful. Oh, we got one. Whoa. Woo. Yep, we got one. What do we get today? Looks like a brownie. Looks like a brownie. So we did get a fish today. That's good. Look at that. Not bad. Get him back in the water. All right, there he goes. All right. Nice and nice. Caught us a fish. All right, man. Had to chat with a fellow fisherman there. He came up from Boulder. I couldn't even imagine that anymore. living up here and actually just being accustomed to this being home. Somebody's like, I drove it from Boulder. I'm like, oh Jesus, man, can you imagine? All right. Let's go through this little fun section of rapids here. This will be really, really fun. And then after we go through this section here, the takeout's over there, we'll have to ferry across to the takeout, which may be a challenge today because the water is very pushy. It's been warm, and this water has definitely risen as we've been paddling. So let's going down through here, try to get the takeout, and you'll get to see what I've been talking about. Just surprised at the end here, and why I got this kayak, and just a couple other things. So you gotta hold on. Anyways, let's go. Woo! Nice to get a little splash here on a nice hot day. It's another thing about like getting on the river. It's just being able to beat that heat. You know, I mean, it is warm out today. Got some rocks here. I've handled right over the rocks. Perfect. We'll get in this wave train here. Get over in here, and then we'll go ahead and take out right over here. Perfect, man. Perfect. Ferry across. This boat handles so good. It may be, you know, I'm gonna be honest, maybe because I haven't been in a hard shell kayak in a couple years, you know, being in the white water thing for so long, I just haven't, you know, done that in a while. So yeah, maybe that I just don't remember how much easier this may be, but I'm telling you, it's effortless. So I don't know how much easier it could get. Here we are, the takeout. That means we've made it. But it's not the end. Hold on, this is hilarious. Oh man, this is just awesome. Anyways, let's get those feet wet. I am hot. My feet are warm. Whew. All right. So some of the reasons that I got this kayak, of course, big reason is the compactability. All right, we'll let that air leave the area. And then we're gonna go up here and I'm gonna show you something. And I'm gonna show you exactly why I picked this kayak. Let's go. All right. What's that? It's an e-bike with a trailer. That's crazy. That's because it's my e-bike and a trailer. Oh man, so cool. Let's unlock this. Boom. So yeah, so what I do is I actually ride this situation or this I don't know, build unit, whatever. This thing is what I ride up here, but I put my electric scooter in the back, my fold-up electric scooter. It's really small. I put it in the back and then ride it back home. After I ride this, lock it up, walk across the street with my boat, put it in the water. You get the idea. So that's what I do. I thought that would be enjoyable. All right, so let's ride this down. And I'm gonna show you exactly why I picked this particular inflatable kayak. And you can see here, it's just easy to keep all that tucked in. And as I go down, I'm gonna put the tops on those valves. So there's the one on the thwart. Tuck it in here. Squeeze all that extra air out. We're gonna go ahead and put these caps on the valves. The reason we're doing that is just to keep sand and dirt from getting in there. So there's that. And then boom, and we're good. We'll load this into there like that, and it fits like freaking perfect. Like perfect. I mean, look how perfect that thing fits in there. It's nuts. I mean, it just slides right in, just so easy. There it is. I mean, just everything closed up and sealed here on the banks of the Eagle River. Out there is the Rocky Mountain Rafts Taylor IK126 inflatable kayak. I've wanted one of these forever and ever, and finally I got one. It's compact. I mean, look at that. It's super fun. It's built like a raft. It's just bomber proof. It's super fun, super maneuverable, super light, and perfect for what I needed it for. If you're interested in this particular inflatable kayak by Rocky Mountain Rafts or any of their other awesome products, they make 2-seaters of these, so you got double duckies. They even got a beefier one, like I was saying, the Animus. The Taylor here, I'm thinking about getting another one of these Taylors or a single seat Animus or a double, I don't know. I might get a super awesome, but at $765, I believe, is what this is selling for right now. I'll leave a link below. Is one hell of a deal because you could get this, the paddle, and your PFD all for under $1,000. So can't beat that for summer activities on the river or whatever piece of water you like. But here in Colorado on the banks of the Eagle River, have an awesome, awesome weekend, everybody. Peace.